guys, welcome back to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba Rivera. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are having a good morning, a good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever it is that you're listening to this episode, I hope that your day is going well so far. In this episode, I talk a little bit about breast cancer awareness. And it's not a lot of information, but it's information you can use. So, enjoy this episode, guys. It's short and sweet. Hey guys! So, on the previous episode, I spoke a little bit about the month of October, and I spoke about, Halloween and preparing for the months to come after October, which are the holidays. But I also spoke about the awareness for the month of October. So the month of October is Breast Cancer and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And in the previous episode, I spoke about domestic violence. I got into detail regarding domestic violence. And so for this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about breast cancer awareness. And so when I was doing my research, looking for information about about breast cancer, it was hard for me to get information about statistics. I mean, when you go onto the website, you find all different kinds of cancers and, diagnosis and things like that. But when I was trying to get statistics, it was a little difficult for me to get to the information. But I finally got it. And so I wanted to share that information with you so that you can be aware as well. So I got this information from the American Cancer Society, and is looking at a glance, right? The estimated new cases of breast cancer in the year 2021 is 284,200 people. I was like, oh my God. And then out of those 284,000 people, there is an estimated deaths in 2021, 44,130 people pass away, which 284,000 to 44,000 doesn't seem like a lot, but that's still a lot. And then when I'm looking at, I kept on scrolling down and I'm looking at the estimated new cases by sex. The female is super high. It's 281,550. And then male is 2,650. So that is high. And I didn't, of course I know about the breast cancer and things like that, but I didn't realize how high that is. And then when you keep scrolling down, it gives you estimated new cases and deaths. However, it only does in the state, right? In each state, it gives you an estimated new cases for 2021 and all that information for each state. However, this is only for female. It doesn't give you information regarding male. So it doesn't tell you in the state what the male number is. But it does give you information on, the numbers for each state for female. And it's a little high there, which is scary. So, I was looking at these information on the websites and stuff like that. And basically, early detection is key, right? And you want to make sure that every month you do a self breast exam. And I know sometimes it can be a little funny and things like that to do your own breast exam, but you don't want to wait on your annual mammogram to go and find out there's something wrong with your breast, right? God forbid. But doing it on a monthly basis, you get to get familiarized with your breast. And you'll know, like, okay, every month it feels a certain way. And then 1 month you'll feel a lump, or, you feel something different in your breast. The only way to know that is when you're doing your monthly breast exam, right? So a lot of people say, okay, well, I'm not used to doing it or whatever. And that's fine. Maybe you'll skip a day here and there. I'm not going to tell you that I'm faithful to it every single month, because I do forget myself too. But you can go online and you can get a picture, an image of how to do a self breast exam, right? Because some people don't know how to do a self breast exam. So you can go online, or you can Google search. Google is your best friend. And you can get images where you can, print it out and tape it to, your somewhere in your bathroom, right? Or you can take a screenshot of it. And every time, you look at your phone, you remember or put a reminder once a month to go and when you're in the shower to do a self breast exam, right? So, that's a little something for you to remember. And when you go onto the National Breast Cancer Foundation, there is also a lot of information there. They have, what is breast cancer for those who are not aware. And it also tells you, some of the causes of breast cancer and breast tumors and the anatomy and things like that, and the growth of cancer. And then it gives you information about early detection, right? Which is very important, to detect your cancer early in your breast. And that gives you a better chance, I would say, right? When you find an early detection. And then they also have diagnosis. What are the different, types of ways to do the breast exams and stuff like that obviously at a clinic, right? It's the mammogram, it's the ultrasound, the MRI, biopsies, and things like that. And it gives you a lot more information, the different stages, the types, the treatments, and it even gives you a free educational guide that they can send it to your email, and you can, print it out, or you can keep it in your email and read it later on. It also talks about the bra you use can also cause breast cancer. So if you're using the wrong size bra, yeah, I didn't even know that. That can also contribute to problems with your breast. So I went and I got the free book. And here are some consequences of wearing the wrong bra. Red, sometimes painful marks on your shoulders. Shoulder pressure resulting in poor posture, neck pain, and headaches. Breast tissue breakdown, which can reduce breast firmness. Irritation and chafing. Needing to constantly tug on or adjust your bra. And so with that being said, that also gives problems. So this guidebook actually gives you more information on there. I'm not going to go through everything, and it tells you how to measure yourself so that you can get the right bra. And so all this information is pretty good. I'm glad that they have this information on the website. Again, let me give you that website information. It is nationalbreastcancer.org. So the National Breast Cancer Foundation has a lot of information that you can go and look at and research for yourself, right? Because I can be telling you something, I can be telling you something wrong, right? I mean, of course, I'm looking at the website, but again, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I don't trust things and I need to research myself. And then I'll feel better, right? So that website is nationalbreastcancer.org. And they give you information on so many things. You can get a free educational guide on mammograms. You can get information on your bra size and how it affects your breast. You can get information on a variety of things, getting a mammogram, facilities that offer free mammograms, and all that information. But the most important thing is being able to take care of yourself. Going and not going, right? Because it's not going. Remembering every month to do your self breast exam and get familiar with your tatas, right? So anyway, guys, this episode is short and sweet. Again, don't forget to do yourself breast exams every month, and go and research some of that information so that you can be familiar with the things that are important with your tatas. Bye.